Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know, Sahar is one of the top real estate agents in Houston, Texas. She's someone I've worked with for years, someone who I am always excited when a buyer's working with her because I know they're going to have a great experience. I know there's going to be no drama. I know they're getting a good deal. And that's the perfect thing. However, much to my disappointment, as well as yours sometimes, not everybody can work with you. So if you were, and that's because you're not buying in Houston, let's say you're buying in Maine or Tennessee or Alaska, you can still work with me. But Sahar will not drive there.
Yes,
What is that about, Sahar?
I have 3 kids.
Okay, darn. Okay, when the kids are grown, we'll get you in all the states. So we were talking about this, and I was like, look, if your best friend was buying out of state,
Mhm.
okay, what are the 3 tips you would give them for looking for a realtor? And of course, Sahar's like, I would just have them call me and I would refer them to an agent that I research. So, guys, that's always an option. You can call Sahar, she'll do the research and do the referral. But let's talk about the 3 things that you would advise your BFF to look for.
So I tell her to look for an agent that is working and productive in the market, not that they sell one house a year. That's number
Yeah.
one. They want to be an
So,
expert in the market.
how can they figure out if they're an expert? What are some signs that you think people, because look, there's a lot of realtors that will do Instagram and they'll be posing in front of cars, being like dollar deals, and they
Yeah,
do no business. So, what
yeah.
are some signs that they're
You,
doing
we are
business?
we are in the age of information. You can type their name on Google
Mhm.
and go from there. And there's many websites, Zillow, Google, their local MLS, if the Virginia, I mean, whichever MLS they're in, make sure they are producing agents. They're working the market, you know? So that's number
So, okay, and so just so you guys know, generally Zillow in most parts of the country, there's a couple pockets where they don't have the best data, but in most of the pockets, most of the country, what I'll do is I'll just put in the realtor's name and I'll put in Zillow and the state, and it will show you that realtor's page and it will show you how much business they've done in the last 12 months.
one.
That's a huge indicator. So personally, I would argue that, if someone's doing one house, two house, three houses a year, they're not an expert because they're not getting their hands in the deals enough. They're not working with enough other agents to really understand what's going on.
Yeah, real estate is hands-on experience and the market changes. So you might have sold 30 years ago, but you don't know the market today. So you want to be current with the market condition. So you want to
Okay,
have somebody that is current with the market condition.
so Sahar, last year, you're a solo agent, which means she doesn't have a team under her. Just to give people an idea of what to look for, my hand's all weird, how many houses did you sell in 2022?
68 went on the MLS.
Okay, I'm curious why you said what. Okay, went on the MLS,
Some
which makes me
some
wonder what
some
wasn't
some
on the
homes,
MLS.
yeah, some homes don't go on the MLS if you're not doing it directly and you're referring it somebody out. So it's about 70 deals.
Okay, so 70, so guys, that's a great number. 70 is on the high side.
Yes.
But
Average realtor, what, 12 a year?
I, I don't even think the average is that high. I think the average is literally like 3 to 4 because there's so many real estate agents across the country that, have their license and just don't really produce. And you brought up one of the really good traps is people will say, we see it in lending too. They'll go, well, I've been doing this for 40 years. And it's like, you've done it for 40 years, but you've done a total of 8 houses. Like you're not an expert.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
really how many transactions they're closing. And then also with the team aspect, because I think the teams can be deceiving. What do you think of that?
Yes. If you're working with a team, generally you're not working with the name, like who's
Hmm.
listed. So let's just say Sahar Khatib Realty Team. And you're not working with Sahar, you're going to be working with somebody that's a beginner or like they don't know what they're doing. So it's just going to go under their name, but you're not really working with the person. So you want to Google, you want to research the person you are working with.
Well, and you want to make sure too, because sometimes, because we're saying like, look, you want to go for people who do a lot of volume. So you might see an agent where you're like, oh, they did 300 transactions based on what Jen and Sahara are saying. That's a great number.
Exactly.
However, if they have 6 team members, that means that really it's 7 agents doing that using one person's brand and you may not get that. And that's why I've always liked Sahar, is because she doesn't have that team where I have to be like, oh, Sahar, your buyer's agent's killing me. Like they did this, and that.
Exactly. Exactly. So when you work with me, you work directly. Do I have leverage, people helping me in the back end? Yes, I do. Which is, you've worked with them as well, Jennifer.
Yeah,
I
that's
have
the way I run mine.
somebody on the transaction, like on the paperwork, helping me out,
Cindy.
and then somebody on the road, Cindy, and then somebody on the road that helps me. And I want to give them comfort that it's not going to be, hey, I'm just sending somebody with you. Even the person that I work with, they have to reflect the same values that I do. And we're all on a 3-way text message or on the same email. So I'm always involved in every step of the way, but nobody else writes contracts or negotiate for you or talk with you other than me.
So that's something you guys want to watch out for. So when you're looking for that agent that does a lot of business, one of the questions you want to ask is, will you be negotiating on my behalf? And if they go, oh, Polly on my team will, well, great. What are Polly's numbers? How long has Polly been doing this? What's Polly's negotiation? Because if all the reviews say that, Barbara Jean's the best negotiator, but you're working with Polly, you're not getting Barbara Jean.
Exactly. Exactly. So you research, and make sure you interview the person that you're going to be working with and see his communication level and how he's going to act. And that's at the beginning, before you sign any buyer's rep, any commitment with them.
So I've got 2 comments I'm going to make just to see your reaction. So a lot of times I'll look up with clients, we'll look up realtors production, and we do it usually if I've heard something that's a red flag to me, and I'll be like, hey, like they've closed 2 houses in 2 years, and they'll say, well, they told me they only really want to work with people they can take their time with. What do you think of that statement? Okay.
I'm blown away. I'm blown away. You caught me off guard. So you caught me. If 2 houses,
they like to take their time, Sahar.
I know, but taking your time.
I know, it's ridiculous, right?
How like take your time and I always say our time is according to our client's time. So if they're, they want to move fast, we'll move fast. If they want to walk like a turtle, I walk like a turtle, because I'm working for them, with them, not for them, with them, so whatever they want to do, I will walk with them. But 2 houses, that's, like, let's just say you show somebody a job every single day. How long you're going to show him? 2-3 hours? They're going to get tired. Then you have the whole day left. What are you doing the whole day?
That's a very valid point.
And
we
so I mean, like, I'm just gonna say the 2 houses took a year for them to find, but let's say every day they showed them 2 houses every day, that even though not everybody goes every day. So what are you doing the rest of the day?
Yeah, they're not a full-time agent. I mean, it's that simple. And there's different ways to sugarcoat it. Like, well, I only work with my friends, I only work with special people. But the bottom line is, they're not a full-time agent, they're not an expert in the area, and the seller's going to pay the same to the real estate agent, whether they're an expert or not an expert. So why aren't you getting the expert? Exactly. So there was something else I was going to say, and now I forgot. Okay, well, let's go to the next one, and I'm sure I'll remember it. So okay, so number 1, expert. Number 2,
in the area. Number 2 is the agent communication. We were talking about it, and then you shifted back. So the communication level with your agent is very important. So if you text an agent or you call an agent and they return your call a day later, that should be a red flag.
So a day later, okay, but let's be real, because I do have to say there's people who like to call and text in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
okay,
or like 24 hours later. Let's just 24 hours later. So to be specific, when I say a day, if it's 12 o'clock the next day at 12, night until midnight the next day. So I'm always referring to a day in 24-hour span.
I always tell people that if they're not responsive in the beginning, they're never going to get any better, because it's the courtship period before you start showing them houses. So, because we hear so often, I called my real estate agent, and they didn't get back to me for a week.
Yeah.
Which
unless they have an emergency, they're in a hospital, or, I mean, if you lose your phone, you and me, we know we're in this age. If we lose the phone, the next day we go buy another one. Nobody
Oh,
is waiting a week, you know?
no, and
So,
we're checking our voicemail from, like, payphones, like, whatever we can find, like, we're gonna get in there or someone from our team's gonna get in there to get those messages. So there
and
isn't.
and it boils down to something, Jennifer, here. It boils down to a character that you have. It's not about the response. It boils down to how much you care about the people you're working with or being in the service industry.
Right.
That is something you can't plant into somebody. It comes with you as a person if you have that core value. If you care about what you're doing and you enjoy it, even if you're on vacation, you're
Mhm.
still responding to people because these people
Yeah,
trusted you, and anytime wherever you are, and you're the same way. You can be
I
biking and you text me back, like, and you can simply say, hey, I'm, at this moment,
yeah,
I'm not, whatever you want to disclose, I'm in dinner, whatever, like,
yep.
I will get back with you. Like, that response means a lot to the people.
I
We
sent you pictures from the beach yesterday. I was like, "I'm watching waves." You're
Exactly,
like,
exactly,
"Perfect."
exactly. So your agent that's going to be working with you, you want them to be, there with you, even if they're not available to talk to you at the moment and write you a contract or answer the question, just be there for you every step of the way. It becomes a relationship, like friendship.
So we think that, okay, so I think we both can agree that within 24 hours, but then also, like, look, if someone wants a house, I know that if someone's calling me, for example, and it's like a first time consultation, I'm usually trying to get them on the calendar, or, it might take 24 hours to call back because my priority is always going to be, if I have a client that's like, Jen, I need 2 letters because I'm writing an offer on a house. If you have a client that wants to see a house or get in contract, you're going to be responding even quicker because you want to
Exactly.
make sure. Right. So if someone, so basically, everyone who's watching this, guys, Sahar closed 70 houses last year and she's getting back to people. A lot of times buyers go, "Oh, well, they're really busy." And I'm like, "They did 3 deals. They're not busy. They're just not responsive." And some people just aren't responsive. It's like full voicemail. Does that one push you over the edge? That one pushes me over the edge.
Yes, 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 exactly. And
Ugh.
it's not their, I don't know, they're not invested in the business, or they're
Mhm.
invested in their clients, or we go back to, like, are they full-time agent, are they not full-time agent? All that, it goes back. That's why I say communication or responsiveness is a big key. If we are in process of a transaction, or we are looking in person, like we started the search in
Mhm.
person, not just the window shopping or the introduction stage, it should be within the hour, the response. That's me
Yeah.
personally, within the hour. But I'm talking about if you just reaching out to an agent that you don't know and you text them or call them, they didn't answer within 24 hours, that should be a red flag.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's interesting because sometimes, I'll help clients find real estate agents, and I can have a client that's, fully underwritten, fully approved, ready to shop, has a house in mind, right? And I'll call 5 agents. It will be amazing. There might be one out of the 5 that actually calls me back. One.
Yeah.
What is real estate is the only industry, guys, where you'll literally see people walk away from piles of money. It is mind boggling to me.
Yes.
Um, okay, sorry, rant. Okay, third, I rant. What's the third thing?
So we went through it a little bit when we said expert and, research the agent. So we've talked about how the agent, works and how
Mhm.
much they do, their production, and if they are the one that's going to be handling or working with you directly. So
Right.
those are, kind of, we mix them up together, is researching the agent, make sure they are an expert. So that will be my third one. I mean, if you
Well, and reviews,
review.
right? Because reviews are so critical because here's the thing. Let's say you find 3 agents that are all top agents, but they're going to have different personality types, you
Absolutely.
know, and that's going to be something you want to know. And sometimes we'll see that someone has big numbers, but it's because they have an investor that's just feeding them business. And that's very different than a first time home buyer type agent. Um, I've got to bring up one thing, Sahar. Well, okay, so hold on, guys. So look at reviews, go to Zillow, Yelp. Sahar was telling me, tell them about the Houston Association thing, because I thought that was really cool when you told me about that.
So Houston Association of Realtors, we have a platinum level agent, and that's
Mm-hmm.
going to be like something simple that agents can subscribe into it. I think it's like $125 a year. So that gives us the ability to once we close the deal, to send directly to the, like the HAR sends it directly to the client. That way we can get reviews from the clients, and you don't get edited. Like we can't edit it or play with
You
it.
can't pick and choose. Like you can't decide like, Bob kind of hated me, we're not sending him a review.
Otherwise they kind of drop you like from the program, like it's, it kicks you out. So you have to be very transparent, and I work on transparency, and that will tell you a lot, because that will tell you, is that agent good with veterans? Are they good with first home buyers? Are they good with just luxury? I mean, what are they doing? So you want to, every review will tell you the address itself. So the address, with the client's name and, the review, and then you can read and then click on the address and then go find the house. So it tells you a lot of information and I think information makes, in this age, makes us kind of, I would say, as a client that comes to me, gives them the power to choose, who they want to work with.
Right. And it's important. And so it's like, if you guys are looking at something and you're like, I can't find a review anywhere for this person, I think that's a red flag. I don't know how you can be in 2023 and be doing a good job and not have a review. Like we do reviews of hamburger restaurants. Like this is the biggest purchase someone's going to make. Like they're going to have reviews.
Exactly. And as we all know, we're all on social media. So you go on social media these days and you see everybody like marketing themselves, and they're using, like they're walking into homes and marketing. Are they really selling those homes? That's
right.
So compare and contrast. Are they going and just shooting a video in there, or are they really selling this kind of home? So I think, you should just Google and like do your research. Research is, it gives you, it gives you the power. I mean, information age is the best for this. Like before 30 years ago, I don't think all this existed. So people were working in the dark. Nowadays, the younger people, like they have the way to find out if they want. Don't be lazy. Look, because that, as you said, it's one time that a buyer or seller, they buy or sell a home, maybe 2 in their lifetime, so it's not an everyday thing. You want that process to be as smooth as possible.
Right.
And this other thing, when you don't want to overpay for a house, that you don't need to. So look, make sure that the person you're working with, look further and make sure they know what they're doing.
And don't blindly trust. I mean, I'm just going to throw that in there because sometimes people go, well, my cousin used them. And I'm like, that's cool. Your cousin was their first sale.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not slamming new realtors because there can be great new realtors, but if someone's telling you that they're an expert and they've sold a house, like, never blindly trust a referral. Oh my God, Sahar, we're going to have to do a video, not today, clearly, but we're going to have to do a video about how to spot fakers, because we have it in the mortgage industry too. Like we've got all these people on YouTube that are like teaching people about mortgages, but they don't actually do them. And you have the same thing in real estate.
We do a lot. And it's just overwhelming when you see like all these videos and they look like they're selling mansions or like they're doing so much business, and I go look them up on purpose. Like I have that curiosity. I don't bash them. I don't go do anything. I'm like wondering, I'm like, seriously, how do they have the time to be on video all the time? And doing nice videos, not like just a 2-minute video, like doing full production video, and still do the real estate that, do, because I know how the schedule goes. And then figure it out later. I see like they did 3-4 transactions, but they're posting every day.
They're posting every house they've ever walked into, making it look like it. It's interesting. It's the whole fake it till you make it, but sometimes they're just fakers. So, okay. Well, Sahar, thank you. I know you have lots of contracts to write today.
One of them is yours.
I am excited about that. The buyers are excited about that. So anyone who's looking in Houston, just call Sahar, make your life easy. If you guys are looking for a realtor, definitely look at those tips. If you're exhausted and can't handle it, just call Sahar. She'll help you out. But thank you for watching. And we'll do another one, Sahar. I think it'll be fun.
Thank you.
Fakers. We'll do Fakers. Snarky Sunday. Okay. Bye, Sahar.
Bye.